You ever watch a movie or read a book and are just baffled by the creativity that some of these writers have? When you're writing a story, it's really hard to create something that no one's really heard of before. So how do you create a world that's unique and vibrant but isn't too overwhelming so you can ease your audience into it? Hey, it's me, the horror writer that brought you nightmares through, well, this. Anyway, if you don't know who I am, my name is Cole Carcetti. I am the author of my science fiction novel Serendipity, and I'm also the creator of LWS Odyssey. Creating things can be hard, but as a science fiction writer, I'm going to teach you the secret how to do it. I'm going to describe this in the realms of technology just because it's what my work is familiar with, but you can use this in anything that your work is centered around. That can be with magic through fantasy, but it's generally all the same idea. So, how do you create something, especially something that's really cool and that everyone likes? It all starts out with a necessity in what you are writing. I'll describe this in a couple layers, the first being relatively simple, and then we'll get more detailed as I go along. So, for the sake of my writing, I wanted to come up with something that was scary, horrific, demonic, but still possible in some sort of fashion, something physical. Let's not beat around the bush here. My work is clearly in science fiction world, so I went down a technological path to solve that problem. But the layer above that made it a little better for me was that I implemented it into my world, not just my story. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is you want to create something that helps you continue your narrative in the direction you want it to go in. Then, once you do that, try to implement it into the world you created so that it's something that's normalized and used a lot. So, let me give you an example based on that demonic possession thing I told you about earlier. Since I wanted the story to go down that direction with demonic possession, with something technological, I had to create something that would allow that demonic possession to go into the body. Introducing the Scythe. Basically, it was a cybernetic enhancement that I created for my story so that it could have a connection into the brain, and you could obviously see where this is going, with some sort of evil code or malware could get into your system. So now I had this narrative tool that I made for my main character to get the story that I wanted to happen. But since I made that tool, I had it at my disposal to use in other moments that I needed. Cybernetic enhancement that connects to the brain can be used in a lot of scenarios. If a character needs to open a door, then they use their scythe to figure out the password and open it up. If two characters need to stay in contact with one another in a seamless way, then they could connect their scythes and transfer their information. These are just some of the many examples that I was able to use one thing I made as a narrative tool for many other things in my world. Now, how do you introduce such an element to your audience? Confidence and repetition. Right off the bat, you should be demonstrating to your audience what the object is and how it works. Now, I wouldn't straight up describe what your object does to your audience like they're an idiot. Obviously, they won't know how it actually works. But you want to sort of put your audience in a scenario where it's something they don't know or understand, but they'll figure out as they see it be used. For example, call it what it is from character to character without being like, what is that? Have them use it in normal conversation and not really question why it's called that. Then show its function so that the audience knows that's what that object does. Part of the repetition and confidence of this is naming what you've come up with. For mine, it was easy. Take the word scythe, take off the S. But it's not always that simple. Except that it fucking is. Come up with literally any word ever. Make it gibberish. Just make it something that you can say easily. As long as the audience knows how to pronounce it, it doesn't matter if your word sounds weird to you at first. Words have meaning because of repetition. Think of so many franchises and companies that have these really strange names and we don't even blink at them. That's because you hear them 20 million times every single day. Obviously, whatever you just came up with it, so it's going to sound a little weird to you and to everybody else. But if you have that confidence throughout your entire writing that this is what this object is called, then your audience will respect that. And so that's the point I want to get across. The more you use what you came up with, the more the name pops up, the more normal it feels. This is your universe. Create whatever vernacular you want to. If you guys want to show your work off a little bit, please give me recommendations. I have a whole bookshelf over here that you can't see that I'm trying to fill up. I love new authors and I love new concepts. I'm open to reading what you guys want to share with me. So be sure to comment about your work so I can give it a look, and like and follow, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cringy as fuck outro.